Hello everybody, Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I think you're going to find this video today real interesting. We're going to cover some stuff that you probably haven't seen before, talking about the seriousness of these crimes and showing you the level of public corruption that's going on that is allowing them. And so let me jump in. I've got a lot of stuff to cover here. It's a long read. I named it People in the Attic, aka Burglary of a Habitation. And I'm going to show you the video first before we even start, which is a proof of security system hacking. On July 24, 2016 at 12:39 p.m., a motion detector goes on my attic. It's seen flashing only on camera number 4, which is important.
It's June 24, 2016 at 12:39. I can see it on camera number 4. I don't see it on camera number 3 though.
See, there's 3
showing up on camera number 3.
See, it should be.
That was a burglar alarm that we seen yesterday.
And the whole point of this video, when you have time to watch it, basically is showing that they froze camera number 3 because it should see the same alarm because they're both looking at the same spot. But one day it will, one day it won't. And what happens is the criminals or the people in the attic, they hack the system and they freeze this camera, and that allows them to get in front of them and move around. That's why I hear them, and that's why they don't get caught on camera, because they're stopping the recording to the DVR. But you can see that there. One day you'll have both of them be it'll seen on both cameras. The next day one of the cameras will be frozen. Okay, and then that's the proof, and that's only one of the proofs. There's more to it. There's a long read here, but I broke it down in the comments right here, and we're going to just go over them real quick, and videos and proofs and all kinds of stuff. Real good. In Texas, a burglary is defined as somebody who enters a habitation or a home without permission from the owner with intent to commit a felony. The people in my attic have not been given permission to be in my home, and one of the felonies they commit is theft of services. A person could not stay in an attic without electricity and heating and cooling. They're stealing this from the owner. Here in West Texas, it gets pretty hot in the summer. You'd have to have cooling up there, okay? Otherwise, most of the time, it'd also be dark in the attic, and so you'd be bumping your head, and so you're stealing all that from the owner. It's theft of services. Texas Penal Code 3104 defines theft of services. And then Texas Penal Code 3002, burglary. Person commits an offense if they enter the home or their habitation without permission and with the intent to commit a felony, which they are, theft. And that's only one of the felonies. They're also spying on the homeowners. I believe that we'll find out they've been recording conversation, even taking naked pictures, videos of them, which includes their minor children, probably uploaded on the internet. If the homeowner tries to stop these crimes on their own, they then kill them and cover it up, as in cut their phone lines and shoot them, and use the corrupt Midland police that tamper with the evidence, lie in the police reports to do that. All that's proven. I have many examples where people dropped hints that they knew what was going on in my home. As seen below, Donice Jarrett, who's from my hometown of Hobbs, New Mexico, posted on Facebook that she glued her vents to the wall because of hearing somebody in the attic. I had glued some of my vents to my wall back when I was trying to figure out how they were getting into my home, and she obviously knew that. Nobody does that. Okay, here, let me show you. Here it is, Donice Jarrett right here. Oh, what? Feeling freaky. What? And then I hear something in or sounds like it's in my attic. A funny face. Oh my, I hope the vents to my attic were glued in Saturday. Have not trapped birds or a squirrel in there. Ha 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 ha. So funny, Donice. I bet you thought it was funny when you heard me scream for help after they cut my phone lines and shot me and tried to murder me in my home. That's what this is about. It's cold-blooded killers and this gang of criminals involved. And I promise you, I'm sure that Donice Jarrett knows about that based on this weird Facebook post. And that's all there is to it. Law enforcement can talk to her. Lie to them, Donice. I heard somebody in my attic this morning and yesterday and the day before that. These crimes have been going on since before I moved here in 2008, and they've never stopped. I now know they sleep here, and it's more than one person. I believe it's connected with human trafficking, sex trafficking, and possibly child sex trafficking. It's organized crime and racketeering with significant public corruption, including the press and the police. I mean, this would never be able to, they'd never be able to break into another home, steal or kill another homeowner if it wasn't for the press hiding these facts from the public. As any normal citizen would do, I reported these burglaries to the police, but when they came to my home, they refused to go up in my attic and look, and then they falsely labeled me 1096 or crazy on the police report. They acted like I was the only person who thought people were in my attic, but then I started hearing other homeowners reporting people in the attic on my police scanner. I've now documented more than a dozen in Midland, Texas alone, another dozen in Odessa, 50 across the nation. These are my first 2 police reports. I'm going to have to zoom in here. This is November 9, 2010, and it was a burglary call, my first burglary call, and it wasn't for somebody in the attic. I found a sliding glass door open, and who come into my house? A Corson, who's now over internal affairs. Okay, I want to show you that. Complainant possibly 1096. I was falsely labeled as crazy by A Corson, who's now the internal affairs officer. So if I reported this guy as a dirty cop, he would investigate himself. You see how that works? 2 months later, I made my second report, and this time was my first time for people in the attic, January 8, 2011, okay? And can hear noises in the attic. Complainant is holding his 9mm in a closet with a shotgun. I was scared to death, rightfully so. Now we know these are police-protected, cold-blooded killers. A Corson, once again, internal affairs officer, and also Michael Chandler, the husband of secret police April Chandler. She was caught tampering with evidence, falsifying police reports, everything. And here's where they labeled me 1096. I later found out they do that to all the crime victims, and there's a lot of them, and all of them are the same thing. They refuse to look, investigate. They label the crime victim as crazy, and let's moving on. One lady told me that her friend was a friend with the previous owner, Mike Lawhon, and he was telling them that somebody was in his house before he died at 27 years old. I believe he was murdered here. I tried to get the police reports to see if he had reported these burglaries, but the city of Midland denied me access to see the police reports for my own home. Okay, here's the previous owner of my home, Mike Lawhon, and like I said, he died the week before the 2008 oil show started, which I think's important. And here's what I got off a Facebook message. She says, so I talked to a friend of mine that was really good friends with Mike, the previous owner. And it says he felt like people were in his house, how he knew people were in his house. They were committing these crimes before I moved here in 2008, and I didn't realize it. I didn't even report my first burglary till 2010, okay? And now I know what's going on all over the country and all over Midland, Odessa. I found out that the police dispatched to my home for these burglaries mislabel the calls to something else, such as advisor rights. That way you can't look up the burglary calls. I believe that we'll find out they've done this same thing to the many other homeowners who have reported people in the attic, aka burglary of habitation. That's falsifying a police report. It's a felony. They commit a lot of them here in Midland. January 8, 2011, I want to show you at the top, advise of rights. That was my first call for people in the attic. There's the police report number. Sounds like somebody's in the attic. Complainant, me, was in my closet with a gun. Okay, I was scared to death, rightfully so. These are cold-blooded killers. We now know that, and they're using corrupt police to murder the homeowners if you try to stop them from stealing from you. On January 28, 2012, I was ambushed and shot by somebody under my home. What did I do? I trapped a burglar. I recognized I was under a home invasion and trapped a burglar. But I was shot with my phone lines cut and burglar alarms going to the attic. This was premeditated, cold-blooded murder. God saved my life. The ER nurse documented on the medical reports me telling Detective Rosie Rodriguez about the alarms that kept going off, but she omitted that on the police report. She didn't mention that on the police report. Here I am crawling out on my security camera after being shot with my phone lines cut. Okay, here's the nurse's assessment notes on my permanent medical records, and that's where she's talking right here. There are sirens going off. The alarms were going off. I was tiring my doors to keep them out. Okay, so I was telling that Detective Rosie Rodriguez about the burglar alarms going on in my attic, and she was been hiding that from the public. I installed cameras in my attic but could never catch anybody. This was used against me by the criminals and corrupt police helping them. Some of the other homeowners who reported people in the attic told me they did the same thing too, and it was used against them. I finally found absolute proof they were hacking the security cameras. I showed y'all that and provided that to law enforcement. Now we know why they don't get caught on camera, even with many homeowners reporting these same crimes. And this was from the protective order here, and in 2013, I was shot in 2012, and you know, here's the ADA. When was the last time you suspected someone entering your home? I said the last alarm I had was probably a couple days ago, because these crimes go on all the time. They still go on, okay? And then I went to mention that I had a Vivint alarm system, a third-party Vivint system. She stopped me. She didn't want that story to come out, and said, I hate to interrupt you, but does that include cameras? Oh, she knew them cameras were hacked. I guarantee you, she knew them cameras were hacked. I fully believe that. And that's why she brought it up, because they want to use that against you to call you crazy, and that way they can keep breaking in homes, keep stealing, keep killing. And that's what they do. Vivint security system installed a system in my attic, and it went into alarm 2 times, thereby dispatching the police. But they refused to go up and look again, and smeared my name on the police report again. I then got letters from the city of Midland advising me that I would be fined for false alarms, and my Vivint system called the police again when these were valid alarms crimes. This forced me to disable this very expensive security system. They have all the bases covered to break into homes and murder people. This is the Vivint alarm system on my wall. This was Christmas Day 2012. I'm going to let you listen to part of it.
Yeah, it was an alarm, and I believe it to be a valid alarm, because I get a lot of valid alarms. It's just the problem is that the police have been over here more than a couple times, and they won't look. And so, you know, I don't see any big reason to call them, and that's kind of where we're at. So I just acknowledge the alarm, and then I document it, and then we just put it back in service.
I'm sorry, sir, for the trouble. So you don't want a police dispatch?
No, like I said.
See, I already had that. They'd already dispatched the police twice. Okay, I'm going to show you the police reports on it. And it was just like I was telling her, the police, you know, that they refuse to go investigate. They call you crazy on the police report, you know, and that's what they do to all the crime victims. Okay, I'm going to show you again here the police report for December, what's the date on it? 9th, 2012, and it says alarm is in the attic, homeowners there, think someone's in the attic, okay? But not me, it was the Vivint system. And on this report, what they did here is they changed this call to a warrant call. They were going to arrest me, okay? And then they changed it back and said it was an accident. And Michael Chandler was on this call, the husband of that dirty cop, April Chandler. That was one of the secret police I had paid to get identified. She was caught tampering with evidence, falsifying police reports, etc. This was my first call this is the first Vivint call for people in the attic. Okay, here was the second time on the 19th, and you can see it here. It's hard to get it to focus, but on December 19th, and he's afraid someone's in the attic once again. And on this call, we had Kevin Bullard, Chad Simpson. He's the cop that murdered his wife, killed himself 2 months after Naylor died. He was one of the secret police caught in my house that I paid to get identified. And here's a smart remark. No, child, it's him. He thinks people on the walls. It's so funny. We're killing people in their homes, and we're cops. We're dirty cops lying and stealing and killing. We're murdering a Christian. It's so funny, ain't it? And here's some City of Midland letters saying I would be fined if Vivint dispatched the police to my home again. And it says a fine not to exceed $500 of the more than 3 false alarms. Okay, and they document it. That's where I got these report numbers, because they withheld one of these reports from me, the one with the warrant. That was the one they withheld, that because they didn't want me to have a copy of it. And I finally, 7 years later, got a copy. Okay, now I'm moving on. Along with the cameras installed, I also installed motion detectors. Some of these turned the light on. Others had an audible alarm so I could hear it from the main area of my home. These would go off multiple times a day for years, and I had made many proof videos and posted them on YouTube. I finally took them out after making around 100 videos as it became clear that this isn't a proof problem, but a public corruption problem. Our police and press are hiding these violent crimes from the public, and it doesn't matter how much proof a victim has. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I mean, they're just killing one homeowner after another and rigging these homes. I'm going to show you here on this video.
Along with the cameras installed in my attic, I also installed motion detectors. Some of these turned the light on and others had an audible alarm so I could hear it from the main area of my home. They would go off multiple times a day, and I made many proof videos and posted them on YouTube. I finally took them out after making around 100 videos as it became clear this isn't a proof problem but a public corruption problem. Our police and press are hiding these violent crimes from the public, and it doesn't matter how much proof a crime victim has. I'm showing you my YouTube channel, and I just did a search. I used the search button and searched for burglar alarm. So any video that I happen to name burglar alarm comes up, and I'm going to show you here. Burglar alarm 5/13/18, 5:50 p.m. Burglar alarm 1/29/18. Here, I'm going to just play that one here. Let's close that. I just want to play that. I hate when it jumps out and grabs you. Here you can hear it in that bathroom. That's why I went in the bathroom. You could hear it.
Yeah, you can hear the alarm going off in the background.
Yeah, and there's an alarm up there.
And like I said, there's about 100 of these.
That was just this one. Here's a home burglar alarm. Another one. A standalone burglar alarm goes off, you know. And this is posted 8 years ago.
There it is flashing. See it?
Date. I have to do the
That's
math.
a motion detector.
See the light flashing? It's a motion detector.
On 2015.
Okay. Went up and tested it. Verified they worked. They worked perfectly. Here's another one in 2019. You can hear them going off. There I go. Because you only got about 30 seconds to get it on camera. It's 2019. Here's 2017 burglar alarm. Another 2017, another burglar alarm. They would go off multiple times a day. I just didn't even film them all. 2018, 2017. See, it was like it got to be so many burglar alarms. You know, alarms going off when somebody else is in my house. That's what this one is.
See the insulation falling from the ceiling, from the roof?
Yeah,
maybe a false roof up there.
From the roof. I think maybe a hidden ceiling's up there.
But it started with a burglar alarm and somebody was in my house, Jordan.
But the point is that somebody else was in my house and burglar alarm was going off, you know. Actually, one time the West Texas Fugitive Task Force, a bunch of police officers were in my home, a burglar alarm goes off the attic, and they say, "What was that?" And I said, "It's another home invasion." And I told them about being shot with burglar alarms going off. You can see there's more of them here, 2015, 2018, you know, on, and all I did was a search for just burglar alarms on my YouTube, so.
Okay. So let's go back here. And so one day I was changing out filters on my HVAC unit, which is installed in my ceiling, and I found the Lego toy laying on the attic side. I'm sure it wasn't there when I installed it a few months earlier, and this made me wonder if children were also up there in the attic, okay? That's when I started suspecting child sex trafficking, and there's that picture of that Lego toy, and you can see where I have the ladder, and it stalls right up there in the ceiling. And there's a tube on top, you just with a screw, it pops right off, you know, and so... obviously it was dropped by somebody in the attic, obviously a child. I had already suspected child sex trafficking was going on with the truckers that would pull up behind my home and the Home Depot store who were not unloading freight. I just did a video about Home Depot and kids. You ought to see that. I would see them 24/7, these truckers, and many times when the store was closed and nobody was there, they wasn't unloading freight. This has pretty much stopped, and I believe it's because of the attention from my videos. So that's a good thing, except that we didn't arrest anybody. You understand? And basically, I was showing a burglar alarm went off in my attic, and there was a trucker out here behind here. Right here's a trucker that's behind that Home Depot store. That was the point of that one. It happened over and over and over and over and over again. Many proofs, many videos. It's my belief that my home and most of the other homes where the owners reported being in the attic have a tunnel coming from a nearby home, which leads up a wall that has been modified with crawl space. This leads to a hidden trapdoor in the attic. That allows the burglars to come and go all they want without being seen. I found the suspected tunnel entrance on historical Google Earth maps in my next door neighbor's backyard, which was moved or taken out after I started posting pictures of it on social media. But y'all can find these on the historical Google Earth maps. This one's dated in 2014. Here's my home. Okay, here's a neighbor's home. Here's the underground home in the backyard. Here's the suspected tunnel entrance in the neighbor's backyard. Okay, 2016, after I started posting pictures of it, all of a sudden it's gone. See, there's just dirt there, and you can see there something's in the middle there. And so here's the hidden basement. Here's where I shot. Here's my home, etc. Also, that tree was gone right there. That was another suspected tunnel entrance where they took that live tree out. Many videos about that too. I've contacted the police, sheriff, DPS, Texas Rangers, FBI, and DHS many times, and I continue to do so. I've also contacted local, state, and national press, and even alternative news sources. We have lost rule of law in America, and if you don't believe that, then just show this video to any law enforcement officer that you think is a true upholder of the law. I've been searching for years, and I can't find one. I was a lifetime supporter of law enforcement, too. Here, I'm going to play this. Right here.
Texas Rangers, FBI,
it's my Twitter,
and Homeland Security many times, and I continue to do so. I've also contacted local, state, and national press, and even alternative news sources. We have lost rule of law in America, and if you don't believe that, then just show this video to any law enforcement officer that you think is a true upholder of the law. I've been searching for years and I can't find one. I sent many Crime Stoppers in. I have proofs of that. I've been to the sheriff's office personally. I had a Texas Ranger assigned to my case, Jeffrey Strain. Sent him over 70 emails, fact-filled emails. Like I said, proof means nothing. One thing I do is, this is my Twitter account. Okay, right here, it's Twitter. You can see it's at BuddyWebb12. And what I do is, like I make these fact-filled videos that show all the proof in it, then I tweet it out, okay? And the one I got, my pinned tweet, is this one right now called Secret Underground Homes in Midland, Texas. Proof of a tunnel from the Home Depot store to my home where 4 people were murdered, died, was found. And it was sent to News West 9, KPAG, the Midland Reporter Telegram, CBS 7, the Midland, Texas PD, that's the police department, the sheriff, the FBI, DHS, and DPS. Okay, so they all got that on September 26, 2022. March 26, which was 2 days ago, I tweeted out kids under the Home Depot store. And I said, if you know of a good cop, please show them this evidence. This went to the Midland Police, the Midland Sheriff, the FBI in Dallas, the FBI, the DHS, the Texas DPS, Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, the Home Depot store, Ken Paxton's the Attorney General of Texas, the Department of Justice Criminal Division in Washington, News West 9, KPAG, which is ABC here, Midland Reporter Telegram, and CNN. That was 2 days ago. Okay. On March 23rd, My Property, My $1 Million Underground Home. Once again, same group. The police, the sheriff, the FBI, DPS, News West 9, KPAG. My Property, My $1 Million Underground Home. See, what they're doing is trying to steal my property from me. And they're working with corrupt police to do that, because anything on my land is my property. Clues found to locate the 4 underground homes, March 21st. Once again, you can see everybody that was sent that. So it's just outright lawlessness, over and over. I don't even know how many of these fact-filled. Same real estate company, Woman of Achievement Award for Human Trafficking Awareness. HR calls me crazy. These are videos. Buried under concrete in Odessa. There's another one. Same group again. Crimes tunnels in Midland, Texas. Sometimes I switch it up a little bit and ads like this one. My famous dad. I added the Hobbs, the police department in there, and the Hobbs New Son, Hobbs, New Mexico, where I'm from. I believe the home in Hobbs was rigged. Heather's boyfriend shot a guy in Midland, a woman in Hobbs. Once again, it went to Hobbs News. I was showing the public in that video where Heather told me that her boyfriend said he shot a guy in Midland, Texas. I wondered if that's me. She said her boyfriend was Donnie Cobb, and it goes on and 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 on. I've been doing this for a long time. And once again, Midland Police. See, that I don't know how you can get more corrupt to have all this evidence and all this proof, and I have crimes committed against me every single day, and not just me, many other homeowners across Midland, Odessa, Texas, and the nation. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.
Yeah, I want to say that little video on my Twitter, or my Twitter. Okay, people in the attic, aka burglary habitation. I've now identified over 50 other homeowners reporting people in the attic across the nation, which includes more than a dozen in Midland. This is only the ones that I happen to find out about when the police and press are hiding crimes from the public. This means there are thousands of these crimes being committed every day, and so many we don't even know about, because they're hiding it from us. And like I said, these are what some I heard off my police scanner. The police come on my house, refused to investigate, called me crazy on the police report, okay? And they're doing it to everybody. Let me show you this video. This is one I play quite often. And I show this one to people when I run into them and tell this story.
That woman is facing charges after police say she burned down her home.
Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Was in the attic.
The complainant saying she can hear someone up in the attic. She smells cigarette smoke. She took her family. They're going to be waiting out.
I bet the police called her crazy.
Geneva, caller stating that he heard someone in the attic.
I bet the Ector County police called her crazy.
The complainant's going to be a 7-year-old male stating he can hear yelling and fighting. His mother's in the attic.
Oh, I bet they called that little kid crazy. That was on Hayden Street in Midland. They called her crazy. 1096, they called her crazy. See, that's what I'm saying. They're doing it to all the crime victims. And they're not telling about all the other crime victims. Another one in Ector County. There's just a short list, and it's more now. I mean, every time I turn around, I hear somebody else. This is Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. This should be a national news story. They shouldn't be able to get away with this any longer, of rigging these homes where they can get in the attic and then steal and kill. Buddy Webb.